Hey, folks, I was Alonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, and my man touched down today, folks. I had to get him on the podcast for a hot minute. He don't do a lot of interviews, but we go back like what my boys say, spines and car seats, okay, some shit like that. Anyway, my guest today on my left here on this podcast is the legendary producer of the legendary artist, legendary manager of a legendary artist, Mr. Atron Gregory, the former manager of Tupac Shakur. What's up, Mr. Atron Gregory?
What's up, Lawrence?
Now we go.
Thank you for having me.
Oh man, glad to have you on the show, man. We go way back, folks. We go back to being broke,
real broke,
being broke.
He wouldn't even help me make any money until I figured out how to buy a new car.
His car was so raggedy. I wouldn't even park in front of my house. You got to park down the street, dude. You bad for a brother's image. Okay, people probably just follow him around most of the time.
He's like, I can help you make money, but not if you're driving that car.
All right, you got it. Man, what you doing these days, Doc?
Man, I am producing some solo piano music.
Piano music.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me.
Well, you always get on my case about all this music I did.
Okay.
And we always have these long conversations about, does music influence people's actions? So I took it to heart a little bit.
Okay, so what you doing now? Making gospel or?
No, not gospel. I'm doing mood music, chill music. So in about 2 months, I'm going to have music coming out. And when you're ready to go to sleep, when you're ready to cool out and relax, you're going to turn on my music. It's called the Solo Piano Group. I have lots of different pianists that are performing, and it's just music to chill to, music to sleep to, music to quiet your mind to, music to get your head together to. If you're having problems, you just listen to this and relax and get your head together, and then come back out strong. Listen to some Lizzo or some N.W.A. during the day or whatever it is you listen to. But at night or when you need to relax, you listen to this.
Now, I'm over here laughing because I'm trying to figure out, how did this king of gangster rap decide he wants to do some put yourself to sleep music?
Hey man, we're getting older. Got to figure out how to go to sleep sometimes.
But
go ahead. Honestly, like at night sometimes I'll pull up an app, and it's a app and it'll have ocean sounds and rain sounds, and I just put that app on to help me go to sleep.
Now you know what? I'm cheating because I got a waterfall by my office.
Yes, so you do have that.
And I open my door, listen to the water run at my office, and that knocks me out like a big ass baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm sitting here with Atron Gregory. I gotta keep saying this. The former manager Tupac Shakur. Yes, you saw him in the movie All Eyes on Me. He was portrayed by my man. What's his name?
Oh God, what was the brother's name? I do not remember.
Okay, Kevin something.
No. I think his name starts with an M. We'll have to look.
Okay, we'll look it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's on a different path right now, but we got to go back for a minute, folks. Atron, how did you feel about how you were portrayed in All Eyes on Me?
I thought he did a good job.
Okay.
I actually thought he did a good job. He called me a couple times, asked me about certain situations that happened.
Okay.
And to try to get a feel how he wanted to do the part, how he wanted to portray those moments.
Okay.
And I thought specifically he did a good job. I didn't wear glasses back then.
Okay.
You didn't wear glasses back then. I didn't have a toothpick in my mouth, but I was told he had to differentiate me from the others in the movie, and that's how they decided to do it.
Now I was a toothpick guy all the time, but I gave it to you. Ain't no right.
I chewed gum back then. Remember, right. I chewed gum all the time. Smacked.
Now you also played a role with N.W.A. You were the road manager with N.W.A. Atron was the road manager for World Class Wrecking Crew. He was the road manager for N.W.A., J.J. Fad, and who else?
Michelle A., the DOC, all the Ruthless Acts.
All
the early Ruthless Acts. I didn't do like Booyah Tribe and all those afterwards, but all the I'll call them foundational Ruthless Acts. I didn't do Bone Thugs and Harmony either.
Okay. Now, man, being on the road, I know how it was like being on the road. Tell them some of the experiences a crazy experience you had on the road when you was out there, man, just hanging out.
Man, it depends on what you consider crazy experience.
I tell you what. Now, rumor has it in the movie Straight Outta Compton that scene where they said "fuck the police." Mm-hmm. That was you and not Jerry Heller in real life.
In real life, Jerry wasn't there. That was me.
That was you. Did y'all go to jail?
No.
Y'all didn't go to jail?
Hell no, we didn't go to jail. First of all, you can't go to jail for performing a song.
Okay.
It's called the what is it? The First Amendment.
First Amendment. Yeah.
You can't go to jail. They can be pissed off.
Okay.
They can be mad. They can not like it. They can shut you down. They can do all that.
Okay.
But they can't send you to jail. They did. They did check everyone's ID to see if they could take them to jail if they were dirty.
Right.
But they weren't dirty. Jerry and me and Easy and everyone, we made sure that none of us were dirty out on the road.
Okay.
Because it's dangerous. It's a lot of stuff going on when you're out on the road, especially during that time period when no one wanted that group in their city, except the promoters, because the promoters were making money. But the city officials, the police, no one wanted the groups in their city at all. I remember once in Tupelo, Mississippi. No, not Tupelo. Tyler, Texas. We pulled up. I go to check everyone in. The sheriff pulls up and said, "I hear you got a show here tonight." I said, "Like, yes, sir." He said, "You make sure you get out of here right after that show. You understand, son?"
Wow.
I said, "Yes, sir."
Bullshit.
No bullshit. I said, "Yes, sir." And we were I had the buses ready after the show, and we bounced.
Wow. Now, see, y'all hearing some stuff they don't put in the movies, y'all. This is first-hand history brought to you by a brother that was there. This ain't the movie version. This is the real-life version. Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah. How much of that kind of stuff did you guys experience on the road in the early days of N.W.A.?
We experienced it almost every day.
What?
Almost every day. There's some places where it was cool.
Okay.
We went in the cities were cool. Nashville, I think, is where we started our tour. And that was a cool city. We went into the city and I got you. We went into the city and had to do a couple of days of rehearsal because they had full staging and everything.
Okay.
And so that was a cool place. But not every place was like that. Some people didn't want to see us. Some people tried to cancel the show. Straight Outta Compton, Fuck the Police were just 2 songs you couldn't do on the show.
Wow.
It was actually known. There was a signage in every hall. You can't do these shows or you get fined.
No shit.
And so the Detroit show that was depicted on Straight Outta Compton was the last show of the tour.
Okay.
And I walk up on stage, the show's getting ready to start. I look at Dre, I look at Cube, they look at each other. I'm like, oh, something's not right. Dre went played the song, the whole Joe Louis Arena erupted from the bottom to the top. People went crazy.
Wow.
So did the police. Promoters like, you got to get your guys out of here. So I got them out of there. We went back to the hotel. Quite honestly, it was the last show. I was tired. I gave everyone's tickets to Gary Ballin, who was a production manager, and I said, I'm out. And I was on the way to the airport, and I just felt bad, so I just went and got myself another hotel room. And we had walkie-talkie, so I would radio back and forth easy to see what was going on. Eventually, they were going from one floor to another, and police saw them, cornered them, took them down into the basement, checked their ID, and all they did was sit up and talk about Detroit and Lakers for about a half hour and then let them go.
Wow.
I mean, they can't. What can they do? Except, we don't want you to do that song in our city.
Right.
But other than that, they can't do nothing.
Did you have any problems like that with any other groups?
We had different problems, but one of the more interesting stories. So a lot of people know Tupac stories. Tupac had problems with the police. He went in and out of jail. Just different things happen. But that happens to a lot of people. Just you get in a fight at a club, you go to jail for a few hours. No big deal. But I can't remember dude's name that I used to manage. He had a song called Pistol Grip Pump.
That's
Volume 10. That was
okay.
it. Thank you, Volume 10. So I used to manage Volume 10.
Okay.
But he also knew I managed Tupac, and he, Tupac was huge, right?
Okay.
Or growing and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger at that time.
Okay.
So Volume 10's attitude was he needs to go up on stage and smoke weed. He needs to try to go to jail so he could be as successful as Tupac. And I'm like,
people think that I'd be bullshit. Go ahead.
And I'm like, dude, that has nothing to do with your success. What's made him successful was he did that movie Juice, and he had some good damn music. Now, Pistol Grip Pump was hot,
big song, huge song.
It was a huge song, but he would always want to do something stupid on stage. Like there was a show he had here in Hollywood on Santa Monica. And he went up on stage and started smoking weed. The promoter comes to me, the club owner comes to me and says he can't do that on stage, or I'm going to kick him off. So I go and tell him, man, you can't smoke on stage. He's like, man, I want to get arrested like Pac did. I'm like, dude, that's not what we want.
You know what? I tell people all the time, people don't realize, and I tell stories about how people see one artist do something, they think that's a road to success. Now, you just proved my point, Doc. You just proved my point. Pac went to jail for something else. He didn't go to jail for smoking weed. He may have done it, but he didn't smoke. He didn't go to jail for smoking weed, but smoking weed on stage. But Yo Boy, Volume 10, actually thought he had to go to jail
to be successful.
Be successful like Tupac. That's what I'm talking about. People don't get that. Artists do certain things, and people depict those things as being the road to success, and they're trying to follow them, and they end up. A lot of them don't make it out. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It is crazy. I don't know what happened to Volume 10. He had, you know.
Did he have another song? Did he ever have another song?
No, you know, part of what happened was he didn't like to travel, or he would have some stomach issues. You know, not trying to tell his business, but you know, there are things when he would get on a flight that would keep him from being able to fly. Okay. So when we book shows, you know, he well, I mean, if he had to do a one-off on a weekend and
ain't worth it.
You know, in Florida or Texas or something like that, or in the South, and he couldn't get on a plane, you can't get on a bus for a one-off. Wow. And you know, with one hit song, you're not going to get a full tour. Right. You know, you're going to get one-offs, and you build it until you know you can get on someone's tour. Wow. And so, you know, that was pretty much it for him. I don't know what happened to him. Now, but he was a good dude. Okay. He was a good dude.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to ask you the typical questions, man, because you and I have a unique history. You know what I'm saying? But I got to ask you one question. How was it working with Tupac? What kind of cat was Tupac?
For me, for the most part, Tupac was a cool dude to work with. Okay. But he flipped on everybody. Okay. He snapped. If Tupac didn't like you, he wouldn't snap on you. He snapped on absolutely everybody that he liked and loved. Okay. From his mama down to everyone in the group, to his best boys. If he didn't snap on you at some point in some form or fashion, then he didn't like you because he didn't give a shit. I mean, really that. But other than that, I mean, he wasn't a problem to work with. You know, he was highly motivated. Okay. You know, that's why you still hear songs that you've never heard coming out to this day, and we'll probably hear more over the next few years. Okay. You know, because he was just a highly motivated person, period.
Wow. How did you feel when he caught that case? You were his manager at that time,
yeah, in New York?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I mean, I still feel the same way today that I felt then, and all the way through. It was the most ridiculous thing that ever happened.
They wanted him, that's pretty much.
Yeah, they wanted him, and the judge wanted him, and the judge didn't like his lawyer, and, you know, I think he had like 13 counts against him. And he eventually got convicted of one count, and I don't think the jury really expected him to go to jail. It was a felony, and I don't know which class felony, but it was a felony, which basically, like, if you touch someone on their ass, and that's a felony. Here in California, that's a misdemeanor. Okay. But in New York, it was a felony, and they sent him to the worst possible jail in that state.
Rikers?
No, Clinton. No, Rikers is the city jail. That's like the worst in the city. And the state is Clinton Correctional Facility.
All I know is from SVU. That's what I thought you talking about. Okay,
yeah. Well, you know, a few years ago, there was these guys that broke out of a jail upstate New York, and this woman helped them break out. Yeah. That was the same jail. Okay. It was the same jail. Yeah.
How'd you guys? Were you able to communicate with him when he was in jail, or you guys?
Yeah. I used to go visit him.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to fly into Canada, take a car from Canada to New York. It was upstate New York, so I'd take a red eye into Canada, get there about 6 o'clock in the morning. By 8 o'clock, by 8-ish. I was at the jail, spent all day with them, get back on a plane and come back.
How was the transition when he left your management to go to Death Row? Was that a smooth transition?
Yeah, it was pretty smooth. Okay. You know, there was no drama.
Well, nobody hung you out the window, nothing like that. They didn't push you out the window, threaten to, dome you or some shit like that?
No, nothing like that.
You know, I got to ask these stupid ass questions because people think that shit really happens. So forgive me if I seem stupid.
No, okay? Stuff does happen. It didn't happen to us.
Okay.
You know, because the other side is, I think there was a certain respect level because of Watani Tayimba was my partner with Tupac at the time, and he was one of the leaders in the Black Panther movement from way back in the day, and still does stuff today. Still works on getting Tupac's stepfather out of jail. Has been consistent with doing that. Mutulu Shakur, getting him out of jail forever. So there's a certain level of respect that's there. And I know Suge before Suge was Suge.
Okay.
So there was never any conflict in that way.
Right.
Tupac wanted to go to death row for his specific reasons. It wasn't like Suge wrestled him away from us or anything like that. Of course Suge wanted him there.
Right.
And there are some other factors that wanted Tupac on death row. And quite honestly, you look back on it, as big as Tupac was, when he was in jail, he had the number one pop record when he was in jail. That was our record.
Okay.
As big as he was, he sold 5 times as many records on the first record that came out in death row.
Wow.
So, maybe that's what it was supposed to be. It wasn't a good move at the end of the day because of what, the circumstances, but it's just as far as the music business and selling records, they did California Love. And look what it did.
That's deep. That's deep.
They sold what, 10, 15 million records? And we thought we were doing good selling 3 or 4.
Wow.
And that was 3 or 4 million.
Ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Nothing to sneeze at. Yeah.
Okay. Now you also, if you get Tupac, you got to get Digital Underground. Okay. What's it like working with my man Humpty Hump?
It's Shock G.
Shock G. I'm sorry. I
just
know it was Humpty Hump.
Man, it's been a great ride. We've been together since 1989.
Wow. We first hooked up.
No, we hooked up earlier than that.
We hooked up about 87?
86 or 87.
Okay.
But yeah, Shock and I have been together since 1988 or 1989 and still riding down.
He was your first act, right?
No. Gary Taylor.
The
singer.
The singer?
Singer-songwriter was my first act.
I didn't know that.
Gary Taylor, as far as management.
Okay.
Now, before then, I did tour management.
But you did Rodney
Franklin.
As well.
Yeah,
okay.
Tour management.
So let's give people a quick rundown of your resume when it comes to management and stuff like that, road management. Right?
So I started with Rodney Franklin when I was in college.
Okay.
As tour manager, and at some point that had to slow down so I could finish school. Came down here. Lived out of my car basically.
That raggedy ass car. Go ahead.
And Gary Taylor and I, through mutual friends, knew each other, and he needed a manager. He had a deal on Virgin, and I have so much respect for him because that's when, like I've said before, a little skinnier and I could run. So we were out on the track running, and Gary said, "Since you're my manager," and he handed me an envelope, a check for $5,000. That's how I got my first apartment.